Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for 6 things that we learned from Luton Town 2, Chelsea 3 in the Emirates FA Cup 5th round. Chelsea get the job done. We go in 2-1 down at half-time at Kenilworth Road, and you could tell that the first half performance was proof of a lack of quality in Chelsea starting 11 today, proof of stress off the field from obvious stories of Roman Abramovich putting the club up for sale. Since then, and since my video that I posted yesterday, which I implore you to watch after this one if you want to know my thoughts, Roman Abramovich has come out with a further statement, and in terms of, once again, that conversation about footballing owner over everything else, he is doing all of the right things in favour of the benefit of Chelsea Football Club. So, considering the situation, there's not much more we could ask for. And then the performance in the second half from Chelsea is exactly everything that we needed. We go in at half-time, we're struggling. We've got players playing out of position. You've got Kennedy playing left wing-back for the first time in I do not know how long. And then you see him come off after 60-odd minutes. So you kind of see that Tuchel's saying, like, well, regardless of what's going to happen with spending money, this guy is probably not going to be my left wing back. There are a couple of atrocious corners, and overall it wasn't the best Kennedy performance, but we're not going to talk about him too much in the game today. No disrespect. Luton in the first half were excellent, and I thought that Chelsea were going to seriously have their work cut out if they wanted to qualify for the quarterfinals of the competition. But in the second half, Chelsea's class really showed. And Luton didn't really offer anything in the second half. They looked dangerous in the first. Particularly the second goal that they scored was a proper FA Cup goal. It's a brilliant team goal. And Chelsea looked shell-shocked. Congratulations to Saul Niguez, who gets his first goal in a Chelsea shirt. But we must begin box number 1 with my personal man of the match, and the man who turned everything around today for Chelsea is a green box for Timo Werner. I thought in the first half, we're looking at the Timo Werner that frustrates us game by game. We see good movement, but then when the ball's near him, he can't trap it. He can't control it. But then in the second half, the goal that he scored, first of all, it's a brilliant ball from Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who I think grew into the game for Chelsea and became one of our key players in the second half. Timo Werner times his run very well. There's a slight naivety and help from the wing-backs on the far side for Luton, or the full-backs. But Timo Werner controls the run, brings it down fantastically, puts it into his stride, gets it on his right foot, and the finish with the inside is a brilliant finish. Tucking it into the bottom corner, it's a big, big goal. Chelsea needed that. We've seen it countless times where Chelsea have a poor first half. We're chasing after a game, and then when the second half comes, we're kind of too pedestrian, too sideways, too slow in the transitions. But Timo Werner found that gap, and he didn't just find the gap for the first goal that he scored, which was Chelsea's second. He found the gap in the channel for the goal for Lukaku as well. It's a great piece of movement. Werner gets himself inside. He's not hugging on the wing on the touchline. He's getting inside towards the box, cuts it inside for Lukaku. Lukaku can't miss, but that is exactly the kind of service we need. So when we talk about playing with two strikers, we've all been talking recently about Kai Havertz probably deserves to be the man up top ahead of Lukaku right now, because Chelsea is still not playing to Lukaku's strengths. But in that second half, particularly the last 30 minutes, seeing the link up between Lukaku and Timo Werner is quite exciting for Chelsea. I think it's been highly documented that Timo Werner might not be the guy that Chelsea carry on with beyond the end of this season. With all of the issues off the field at the moment, with all of the uncertainty, borderline scrutiny, Chelsea are going to need to get the best out of everybody. And if Timo Werner can come into the kind of form that we saw in the last 30 minutes, I don't want to write him off. It's his 7th goal of the season, and it was a big one to get Chelsea back in an FA Cup tie that we want to progress from. Moving into box number 2, and I've given a red for Malang Sarr. I think this is probably the worst I've seen Malang Sarr play in a Chelsea shirt. not just in the first half, but even in the second half, where Chelsea weren't really under any kind of severe pressure. Luton just died from the game in the second half. It was up to Chelsea to dominate the possession, to make work with that possession, to get into good positions, to score 2 goals, to turn the game around. It was an invite, basically, from Luton, but Sarr kept making sloppy mistakes. The goal that Luton scored, the second one, he's playing everybody on side. He's not watching the run, and Harry Cornick, I think his name is, scores for Luton. He's at fault for the second goal. You could say a lot about Chelsea's high line. It's a really nice Luton move. But Sarr is not going to get caught out there, and I think the key thing is, with Ruben Loftus-Cheek playing as a right centre-back, Rudiger in the middle or Sarr in the middle, but only alongside Rudiger, I think it showed tonight that Malang Sarr might not be at the exact quality that Chelsea need when there isn't a very strong back line already out there. He's usually playing alongside Rudiger and Silva, Rudiger, Chalobah, Rudiger, Christensen. You know, these guys, far more experienced centre-backs than that of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And I think we saw that Malang Sarr was caught out in this game today, shall we say. But we move into box number 3, and I said that this man grew in importance for Chelsea in the game. I've given a green to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. When I see Ruben get minutes for Chelsea, I get super excited because he's one of those players that I've always loved and that I really want to succeed. Whether that is if he's sold by Chelsea to get more game time or not, I just want Ruben Loftus-Cheek to have a proper football career, you know? So the fact that he grew into this game, he puts in that wonderful pass for Timo Werner to get Chelsea's equaliser. You then start to see his confidence grow. You start to see him doing little tricks in the middle of the park when he's in tight spaces, using that body to turn around, get Chelsea going forward in a progressive sense again. Ruben did a great job of that. And I think in the last half an hour of the game, as much as the goal and the assist were from Werner, I think Ruben was Chelsea's most important player. He grew in importance. He took the game by the scruff of the neck. Jorginho was out there again tonight, and I thought Jorginho did have a poor game. I don't think he controlled it at all. We seriously struggled in that first half, but I do bring it back, and it's box number 4, to the stress. No matter what we say about how good Chelsea's players are, and Luton are in the Championship, yeah, they are looking to try and get promoted, but still, Chelsea should be beating this kind of team. That is the easy analysis to make. But when the biggest news involving Chelsea, you could argue since the Super League or since winning the Champions League, but when the news off the field is so negative, it is very, very difficult for Thomas Tuchel to get into the players and make sure, like I said in the video I made earlier today, that the players need to kind of act as if they're in a bubble of their own right now, where all they can focus on is what they do on the pitch. What happens off the field, as long as their wages are still being paid, which they will be, they need to just keep an eye off of that. Of course, it's incredibly difficult to do so, but it is the kind of thing that Tuchel, the backroom staff, and the playing squad will need to manage on a game-by-game basis until Chelsea, in this incredibly huge transition period that we're about to enter right now, that we're in right this second, until there is clarity about this, until everyone knows what's going on, and until we can start to understand whatever vision this potential buyer is going to have for Chelsea. Of course, this week is going to be dominated by videos about this on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed to GBFC, and if you haven't already, hit the like button on this 6 Things We Learned episode today. But Chelsea dealt with the stress, we get the job done, and we're in the hat for the quarterfinals, which, considering the week we've had, is all we could really ask for. But we move into box number 5, and it's a green for Saul Niguez. I thought in the first half, he was Chelsea's best player. He gets himself his first goal. I think now, if ever there was going to be like a turn of fortunes, I think the fact that Chelsea is selling probably means that whoever comes in would probably at this point be under a lot of scrutiny if he said, yeah, we're going to action that buy clause that we've got for Saul Niguez. But he was very good today, and I want to give him credit because in that first half, there was very little quality out there from Chelsea, but he did what he needed to do well. He scored, he keeps us in the game, gets an equaliser, and I think he played very well indeed. And I think as he's progressed through his Chelsea loan, I think it started pretty atrociously. But he's kind of grown, and as much as I don't think he's done anything to really wow us, he's certainly got better at doing the job that he's been asked to do And he doesn't do too much more than that, but today I think he tried in that first half to kind of grab the game by the scruff of the neck, and he succeeded. And Saul Niguez gets himself a green for not the first time, but I think one of the first times where we can actually say he had a genuine serious impact on Chelsea's performance and results. We finish box number 6 with a green, not for his performance, but for a winning goal in a time where Chelsea desperately needed it. Lukaku is a green for box number 6, as I smacked the mic, apologies about that. It's a big moment for him. Yes, he's not been playing well. Yes, throughout the entirety of the game, I'm sat there thinking, there's some great crosses going into the box from Rudiger. Where's our striker getting on the end of it? I'm also sat there thinking, we play better with Havertz through the middle. But I want to support Lukaku. He's in a position now where I think that it actually could be more likely that Chelsea could sell him as a result of Roman Abramovich selling the club, because there isn't kind of this pressure to get the most out of that purchase from Chelsea now. Yes, there are still plenty of questions about FFP that are going to need to be answered and addressed, and Abramovich has said that the loan doesn't need to be repaid, which is just absolutely insane. But Lukaku scores again. I believe that is like his 3rd goal in 5 games. If it could be a turning point for Lukaku, with all of this kind of... With Lukaku, it could be a bit of a turning point, because with everything going off the field, it could just be that distraction that he's needed to kind of get the heat and attention off him a little bit. And I really hope that that is the case. If we're trying to look for positives in a situation that the majority of Chelsea fans, and myself included, are looking in a pretty negative way, there's not much good about this, then maybe that added pressure off Lukaku could be a difference maker for us in the rest of this season. But anyway, going to wrap up the 6 things we learnt episode here. Let me know your 6 things from Luton Town 2, Chelsea 3 in the Emirates FA Cup in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and check the link in the description to find out my views on Roman Abramovich selling the club. See you guys later with another Chelsea video. Plenty to talk about this week. Come on, you Blues.